Hyundai Next Weather Sphere.
Hey, good morning, Siafa and Jim. Yeah, we are awaiting the return of some heavy rain. We had pockets of heavy rain last night. You're waking up to everything looking a little soggy. Everything is wet and more to come. In fact, much more is on the way. Let's talk about what we're feeling right now. If you're about to step outside, what you'll notice is it's warm, it's muggy, it feels tropical once again, and that's going to lend itself to some tropical downpours as we go through the course of the day. So we've been in a bit of a lull most of the morning. You can see the overnight rain moved out. Now showers are starting to filter back in here. I'm going to stop this at our current radar, and you can see we've got scattered showers moving through portions of Newcastle County, Delaware, Chester County, just pushing up into the Lehigh Valley with some heavier rain up in the northern tier of the state. But we've got more where that's coming from. So let's take a look at our greater northeast map here, and what I want to show you here, the rain that's coming and the severe weather threat. So we're going to take a look at, again, what's happening right now. I'm going to put the radar back on so you can see this batch of heavy rain, which is moving toward Richmond, Virginia, right toward D.C. and Baltimore, and that is the next round for us that will likely get into the city starting at about 9 o'clock this morning. So make sure you're with us for our 9 o'clock broadcast. We also have a level 1 marginal risk for severe weather, where you see that dark green, all of those areas, including us here in Philadelphia, in that level 1 risk. But we also do have a 2% tornado risk, and that extends basically from D.C. right up through our area and up into southern New England as well. Just an indication that these storms could start to exhibit some rotation based on the structure of the overall area of low pressure. So we cannot rule out an isolated tornado as we head into the afternoon and evening hours. Our first round this morning is likely mainly just rain. A few rumbles of thunder are likely, but your next weather alert, again, for today, we're looking at, again, off and on rain and thunderstorms, heavy downpours impacting both commutes. And again, this is an all-day event with the greatest risk of severe weather in the afternoon. So rain 8 a.m. through about noon, and then scattered thunderstorm chances later on this evening into tonight. We'll walk you through it hour by hour on future radar coming up in just a few minutes. Let's send it over to Kim Hunt. Down too fast, too quickly, and too heavily at the same time, and that can lead to some flooding, some ponding out there on the roads. And also, the problem is timing, because this is coming through during the kind of the meat of the day when a lot of people are out and about. It is going to be a slow go all day long. We haven't seen a ton of rain yet this morning. We had some overnight. We've been in a bit of a lull, so if you want to head out right now, now's a good time. Things are relatively quiet around the city, but they are not going to stay that way. We've got another round of steady rain moving in, starting about 8 or 9, especially off to the west, and then it looks like the heaviest in the city will be right around 10 or 11, continuing into the noon hour. So it may be a good day to maybe have lunch indoors, bring it and have it at your desk, or have it inside the house. You don't want to sit outside this afternoon. Later on this evening, we've got a cold front, which is kind of going to follow the warm front. That's what's causing the rain this morning. Cold front comes in the afternoon and evening. It doesn't have a ton of thunderstorm activity with it, but any storm that does fire up could turn strong or severe, posing the threat for damaging winds and even an isolated tornado. The entire region will be impacted by this system today, both commutes impacted, and possibly the Phillies game, which is at 6:05 tonight. Here's a look around the region. You can see still looking kind of damp in the Italian market section of Philadelphia. Everything is just kind of wet behind the ears here this morning, but it's not actively steadily raining in most spots across the area. Chester County, Lancaster County seeing some rain right now. That's about it. It's wet though, it's slow, it's dreary, it's very warm, and it's very sticky outside. You can see just some light showers right now over portions of Montgomery and Bucks counties right up the northeast extension of the turnpike. Here's the next round that we're watching. It's right about here, moving over northern Virginia, heading toward D.C. and Baltimore, and then this trajectory is going to take it right up I-95, likely getting into our neck of the woods around 10 a.m. to noon. That's going to be some of the heaviest rain. But the cold front with this system is all the way back here. What I also want you to notice, the center of the low is about right here. So we've got the warm front and we've got the cold front, and they're pretty close together. So when you get that, you often get winds moving in different directions throughout the atmosphere. If you were to take a cross section of the atmosphere, winds at the surface would be coming from one direction. Then as you move up through the atmosphere, you have winds from a different direction further up. That's something we call helicity, basically how much spin you have in the atmosphere, and that can lead itself to tornado risk. And that's why we have a level 1, kind of a low end, 2% tornado risk up and down the eastern seaboard today. Something we'll have to keep an eye on just because of the formation, the structure of this storm. There is a little extra rotation in the wind field. Here's a look at the timing. As we go through the mid-morning hours, that's when some of the heaviest rain will come through. This is about 10:30. You can see some pockets, that yellow and orange shading there, some heavy downpours. This will extend right back into the northern, really the northern tier of the state, and then lift north. Cold front comes in pretty closely behind that system. And again, any one of these little cells, especially if you get kind of a discrete cell that's not part of a line, those tend to exhibit the threat for rotation. So that's something we'll be monitoring very closely, your entire next weather team today. If you get a cell to pop, could it start to rotate? Could it spawn a brief isolated tornado? It's looking like some of the heaviest or some of the worst of the severe weather may stay north of us. But again, any one of these little discrete cells could pop up and produce damaging winds and possibly, again, that brief tornado threat. That clears out. And then as we get into the day tomorrow, we'll start with some showers down the shore, but it looks like the sun will come back in the afternoon and it'll be nice to see it. Future rainfall, looking at about a ½ inch of rain with this first round as we go through the course of today. There'll be another round of rain that comes through late Saturday into Sunday. That's something we'll be monitoring, but it looks like it's mainly a nighttime rain event. And we also have tropical storm Umberto that we'll have to keep a close eye on out in the Atlantic and the Caribbean. Looks like it'll stay away from land surfaces, but could approach the eastern seaboard next week, possibly as a Category 2 or 3 hurricane. So certainly something to watch. Otherwise, shower chances late Saturday into Sunday. It looks like we'll brighten up by the middle of next week. Kim,